Hey there, welcome to the channel. Really do appreciate you checking out this video. So today in Fallout 76, we're going to go over the EN06 Guardian and how we can farm it just using 3-star legendary power armor. This is honestly really simple, and I'm going to teach you everything you need to know so you can come down here and you can do this yourself. Now we're going to be using one of the new meta weapons. Now one thing you need to know, if you don't know this, the way that limb damage is working and how it's crippling is really overpowered right now. So to shorten this up and explain it, the Pepper Shaker does really extreme limb damage. It is a really good weapon, and we're going to be using that weapon. We're going to be using two different versions of the Pepper Shaker, but we'll get into that a little later. Now, like you've seen, when the shield went down, I switched to a different weapon. That was the other Pepper Shaker. Now, I did pretty good taking out this EN06 Guardian. I did it all with 3-star legendary armor, and I did it with under a minute and 30 seconds. Now, that's really great, especially for 3-star power armor. No 4 stars needed, no special mods. The only issue I run into sometimes is running out of ammo like you've seen at the end, and I had to switch to the other Pepper Shaker. Plus, the Pepper Shaker takes a while to spin up or reload, so it is kind of slow in them areas. But other than that, like I said, I did it under a minute and 30 seconds, and right here you can see the power armor I used, so you know I'm not messing with you. I used Troubleshooter's 3-star power armor. Now I will show you the mods that I put on my power armor to make all this work. You can change a few up if you want. So let's go ahead and take a look at that power armor. Like I said, I got the Troubleshooters. Now on the torso I have Powered through Hikers, and I'm using the Kinetic mod for the chest. That way it helps me with my AP. Makes up for some of the mods that I'm not using. Now I should also know, for 4 out of the 5 pieces, I am going to be using Agility. I'm only using one powered piece. That is on my chest, and that is to help me recover during reloads or weapon swap. But I'm using all agility to help me to stay in bats so I can get them critical shots. Now on the other pieces of the Troubleshooters, I have no mods on the arm, and on the legs, like you notice, I'm using a different set of mods. I'm using the Kinetic mod on the legs. This will help me with recovering a little bit of AP. You can use the Calibrated Shocks if you'd like, if you have a hard time managing your weight, but I like using the Kinetic mod. Now, like I said, we're using Troubleshooters. That way we don't take a lot of damage from the EN06 Guardian, and we can reflect it. Now I'm going to show you the perks that I used in that build. So let's start off in Strength. In Strength, we have 3 in the Master Heavy Gunner, 3 in the Heavy Gunner, 3 in the Expert Heavy Gunner, 3 in the Shotgun Champ, 2 in the Scattered Shot, 1 in the Blocker. Now, Blocker works with the EN06 Guardian. It does block his attacks. So in Perception, we have 2 in Refractor, 2 in Awareness, 3 in the Center Masochist, 3 in the Number Crunchers, and 3 in the Concentrated Fire. Endurance, we have 2 in the Life Giver, 1 in the Iron Stomach, 1 in Natural Resistance, 1 in Thirst Quencher, 4 in the Bullet Shield, 1 in the Starch Jeans, 2 in the Rejuvenated, 3 in the Fireproof. Now I want to note a few things in Endurance with them perk cards. Thirst Quencher, you want to make sure you are fully well hydrated. Thirst Quencher, as long as you're rehydrated, you will have better AP regen. Now with Iron Stomach, you will have increased damage and energy resistance based on endurance while not diseased. So you want to make sure you don't have a disease. Now Natural Resistance, increased elemental resistance based on endurance while not diseased. Elemental resistance, let's talk about that. That is fire damage. The EN06 Guardian has fire damage, so that is one that you probably want to have just in case. Now I could be wrong, you can let me know in the comments what you think, but I'm pretty sure that helps as well. Now the last one I want to talk about in Endurance is Rejuvenated. You gain increased benefits from being well fed or hydrated, so this can help you with your buff foods, and you can get a lot more out of AP and damage with different buff foods. So this card you're going to want if you go down that route. If not, you can trade it out for something else, but this card is a must, I believe. But alright, let's get back to it. Let's get to the Charisma. Charisma, we have 1 in Strange in Numbers, 2 in the Tenderizer. Now Intelligence, we have 1 in the First Aid, 3 in the Stabilizer, 2 in the Field Surgeon, 2 in the Science, 2 in the Power User. Now in Agility, we have 3 in the Gunslinger, 2 in the Gunslinger Expert, 3 in the Gorilla, 3 in the Gorilla Master, 1 in Born and Survivor, and 3 into Enforcer. Now Enforcer will work with the Pepper Shaker. Now on Luck, we have 3 in the Better Criticals, 1 in the Ricochet, 1 in the 4-Leaf Clover, 3 in the Class Freak, 3 in the Critical Savvy, 3 in the One Gun Army, and 1 in the Bloody Mess. You can play with these a little bit if you want to change it up and you want more into Bloody Mess. You could always go less into Class Freak, more into Bloody Mess, and then just take mutation serums every hour, and you'll have no negative effects and all positive effects from the mutations. Now let's take a look at them legendary cards. we have max perception, max endurance, max strength, max agility, and max intelligence. Now, if you don't have these max legendary cards, you can work your way around until you get them. But other than that, as long as you have these cards max, you should be able to reach this build no problem. Now let's see the perk points I spent also to get these perks the way we want them. Now for my special perk points I spent, I put 10 into strength, 8 into perception, 10 into endurance, 3 into charisma, 5 into intelligence, 10 into agility, and 10 into luck. These are the perk points, like I said, I spent. Now let's move on to that pepper shaker. Let's talk about the pepper shaker now. So let's talk about the first mod. We're going to want quad so we can get the most out of the ammo. Now on this pepper shaker, we will be using the 50 critical damage for our crit shots and the 35 less action point cost to help us with the crit shots. This is going to be the pepper shaker that we use after we take the shield down. We're going to want conductors, of course. Critical hits restore 10% health and action points instantly and 100 more over 5 seconds for players and teammates within 100 feet radius. Now for the mods on the pepper shaker, we're going to want hex barrel, plasma magazine, which apparently the plasma magazine gives you more damage, and you're going to want gunner sights. Now the hex barrel and the gunner sights is going to give us better VATS accuracy and better AP costs, so make sure you have the mods on. Now for the first one that we're going to use to take the shield down, this one we're going to use limb damage. The limb damage will annihilate the EN06 Guardian's shield, and then you're going to want to switch over to that critical damage one. That way you can just go ahead, push the max DPS, and annihilate them real quick. Like I said, the worst part is the ammo. Sometimes you run out of ammo too quick. But after you do all this, you should be able to do exactly what I did. You can see here I'm using both of them pepper shakers. And if you don't know how to get a pepper shaker, you can get it from Meat Week, which should be coming up next month. Or you can go around to player vending at different players' camps, try to find a pepper shaker and their vending machine. Now one other thing you can do. Now if you don't have that conductors mod, you can always just head down here and still try this. You should still be able to do this, just you might need to stim and watch your health a little bit better. Now you should be able to block his attacks with the bullet shield and the reflective perk card. That should really help you out a lot with this, but like I said, you're going to want to pay attention to your health a lot more than I did, because that conductors mod really does help you. Now, like I said, once the shield goes down, you're going to want to switch to that pepper shaker that's at 50-35. The limb damage, the crippling mod, is only for the shield. The pepper shaker also got a race and base damage, so it's doing really well on top of that. So as long as you have all these perk cards, the troubleshooters should help you, and it's not hard to get a hold of. The agility mods are not that hard to get a hold of, and a powered mod should not be that hard to get a hold of. Now the through hiker mod might be a little harder, but you can also go ahead and switch it out for the perk card. Now I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped your build. If you've never subscribed to this channel and you'd like to see more videos like this on Fallout 76, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, can you hit that like button? I would love to get this video over 500 likes. But with all that being said, I will see you guys later. You have a good day. Take it easy.